Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the elders of Great Millstone who were very well, very beautifully. Double salutations unto the Akim who pushing his gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, fall upon your houses. This is Brother Quanah Watts from the Arizona Great Millstone Camp. Come back at you, Lord will, with the edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Lord will, it is edifying. Lord will, it is straight to the point. And we are definitely in the time, where Amos, the 8th chapter, the 11th verse on down, right, is going to be fulfilled. Which is what? The famine of the word, right? Which is the time where the gates of mercy ultimately close. And if you don't have this wisdom, knowledge, or understanding, if you don't have Yahweh Bashemel Shai in your corner, hey, you're going to be screwed, man, right? Which is ultimately, the reason why, we go into lessons, right? Such as this one, right? Telling y'all to get this wisdom, knowledge, or understanding right before it's too late, But before I grab a few precepts, I do want to play the first minute and 15 seconds of this video, which is the Elder Apostle Rimlob's channel. It's his channel is GMS Info Doc, channel 12. And the title of this lesson is PSA, or Public Service Announcement, and other topics. And the Elder Apostle Rimlob is the one you see on the left with the gray hair. And then you have on the right hand side, you have the Elder Kanak, they ultimately go in this video. So subscribe and be edified, but I'm gonna go ahead and play the first minute and some change, minute and 15 seconds of this video.
All right, let's start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rucha Kudash. Welcome to another live lesson. This is going to be a PSA and other topics. Join with the Elder Kanak.
Shalom.
And pretty much the PSA is, that Elder Karataza from the Vegas camp, his main page, GMS Vegas 144K, I believe it is. They just took his page down. They didn't give him any strikes, any warnings, nothing like that. The elder, let me know. I believe it was this morning. He sent me a message, and pretty much the thing said that the page was taken down because of spam, deceptive tactics, and scam policy. So like what? So pretty much, I believe they're doing what they were doing back in 2008, prior to us, leaving YouTube for a couple of years and going to Daily Motion, where they were just striking all the main pages, and they were doing it like maybe once a week or every 2 weeks, and then eventually they got to the point where they started doing it every day.
And ultimately, that's as much as I wanted to play on that. You can go and watch the video and be edified through the spirit, man. But hey, now there was a period of time more recently, Salakia, man. There was a family approaching. I just want to let them get in the car, and start taking off before I started back up, But nonetheless, there was recently a period of time, I want to say within the last few years, where Esau was doing that. He was striking the pages hard, and brother, my channel, one of my first channel was taken down. This was a few years ago, man, but now we're coming to a time where Esau is just, he's picking up steam when it comes to managing or monitoring, these different social media sites, right? Recently, he just had, which the Elder Apostle Remlob and the Elder Kanak, they ultimately talk about that, and they mention that in this lesson. But, the small hats ultimately just took over TikTok, and talking about taking over other, social media, platforms and whatnot. So you best believe here soon, right, they're going to be, snatching channels down, snatching videos down, striking brothers' pages. They might even be a little bit more aggressive and just take the channels down. We don't necessarily know, but we do know that they just, basically took, the Elder Karatazov from Las Vegas camp, the head of the Las Vegas camp, GMS Las Vegas, right, took his channel down without any kind of warning or any kind of, strike or anything like that, man. So Esau is definitely on the move, and you best believe that we are in the times of Amos, the 8th chapter, the 11th verse on down, which is the famine of the word, man. So let me go ahead and grab that. This is Amos 8 and 11. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua." Right, so you're not going to be able to get this wisdom, knowledge, or understanding anymore. And again, this is going to take place really soon. Right, brothers can ultimately feel it through the spirit in the air. That it's coming, man. The way that this damn devil is moving, right? He's becoming, a lot more draconian, right? Having that draconian mindset, right? And it's amplifying, drastically, man. Right? These damn devils, they don't care. Right? We're in the time of Jacob's trouble, and it's only going to continue to get worse, right? As we've been telling you, right? We told you that Jacob's trouble was coming, and now it's here, and we're telling you that it's only going to get worse. So best believe it will get worse, right? Verse 12, it says, "And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, shall not find it." And we know that Hosea 12 and 10, right? The Lord speaks through the ministry of his prophets. So you're going to be seeking, right, the prophets, right? You're going to be seeking the prophets. You're going to be looking for the videos. You're going to be looking for, because as things get worse, right, more and more people are going to want to find answers. More and more people are going to want to, what's going on, this, that, and the third, right? We've already seen a video of a so-called black man, come out and say that, isn't it safe to say that the Hebrew Israelites were right? So that video came out, last year, or the beginning of this year, the end of last year, right? So more and more people are starting to understand that the things that, beginning with our elder apostles, right, on down through the spirit and power, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, everything that we've been saying, right, is happening. Which just shows you, man, it's the Lord that's been speaking this whole time, right? Because the Lord said what? That his word shall not return unto him void, right? So it's not us that's speaking. We're not making these situations happen. And Yahweh Bashem El Shai is the one that's in control, right? And he speaks through the ministry of his prophets. So the fact that, that we're out here warning you of these things, really it's the Lord warning you of those things. And guess what? Right? You people are going to want those answers. You people are going to seek, right, the answers, right, to your questions, but see, you're not going to find them, right? Soon it's going to be, as it was, as it is, let me step out the car, as it is in the UK, right? You got to have some type of digital ID in order to get onto the internet, and soon it's going to be, just like it is here in America, right? It's going to be that's to that same degree, right? You're going to need some type of digital ID, or they might even just say, hey, fuck it, you're going to need the RFID micro C-hip in order to get on, the internet, right? In order to participate. Hey, there's a chariot called Law Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're in those times, man. We're in the time of Revelations, the 13th chapter, right? We're in the time of 2nd Ezra, the 15th and the 16th chapter. We're in the time of Amos, the 8th chapter, right? All these different things are coming to pass, right? So what are you people going to do? Right, the only thing that you should be doing is seeking the words of Yahweh Shemel Shai, right, before it's too late, right, as it says in Isaiah, and this is going to be a quick lesson, man. This is Isaiah chapter 55, and verse 6, it says, "Seek ye Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua while he may be found, call ye upon him while he's near." So while the prophets are still out there on the highways and byways, while videos are still being uploaded and channels are still available, hey, go get this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, man, right? Because soon Esau is going to even go harder than what he's doing now, right? Soon it's going to be all these different restrictions and limitations and whatnot in order to get onto the internet, and or there could be some type of false flag event where he shuts down the internet as a whole, right? There was just a major blackout, worldwide, right? There was a worldwide blackout that just happened, right? And that could be, him, turning everything off to kind of reset, the internet to, kind of get his, his new system up and running, right? We don't necessarily know, but we know this damn devil, he moves inconspicuously. I like that word, inconspicuously, man. he does things behind the scenes, and then, you know, if it's something like that, he'll say, oh, it's a blackout, you know, some type of solar flare or some shit. He'll make come up with some bullshit, man, you know. So before he comes with this some type of false flag event and or his restrictions and limitations in order to be able to get onto the internet, you know, which will then have the prophets off the internet, right? Or before all hell breaks loose and the prophets are not on the streets anymore, and get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding before it's too late, man. Before all that happens, right? It says, let the wicked forsake his way and the unrighteous man his thoughts, right? And let him return unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and he will have mercy upon him and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon, man. So before it's too late, right? Don't wait till the last minute. And I'll grab this and we'll close out. This is Sirach chapter 5 and verse 7. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, right? And put not off from day to day. So don't be in that mindset of, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start watching videos tomorrow, right? It's late tonight. You know, I'm tired. This and that. Hey, man, sometimes you got to be tired. Sometimes you got to, you know, stay up that extra hour, you know, 15 minutes, right? Read a chapter, you know, watch a video, right? Look up a few words, right? In order to, you know, really, you know, do what you're supposed to do, right? Get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? We're commanded to do what, right? To read, right? To watch videos, get edified, right? To look into words, right? Look up the proper meaning, get the proper breakdowns of the scriptures, man, right? This is what you need to do in order for you to do what? In order for you to be saved, in order for you to be delivered, right? Because those who don't, those who ultimately continue to, you know, be lazy and you know, put it off, it will, guess what? That's going to be the end of you, right? The scriptures say that the turning away of the simple shall slay them, man. You know, meaning you not wanting to get this wisdom, knowledge, understanding is going to lead to your death, you know. But it says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security, when you think you're good, when you think you're cool, no, I'm straight, man. I'm straight. I'm good, man. It says, what? In thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance, man. And we understand that Yahweh Shah, man, he waiting to exact vengeance, right, on his enemies. And we understand that first and foremost, Esau, Edom, right, is the enemy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, but even you 2/3 are the enemy of the Lord, man. You know? So before, right, he ultimately comes and exact that vengeance, that you might want to, you know, kiss his son lest he be angry, man. You know, as the scriptures say, meaning you get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, plead to the Lord, pray to the Lord, you know, repent, right, before it's too late, right? Because that'll be your ass, man. And we're in the times where, man, you ain't got much time left, man. The gates of mercy are closing, right? Videos are going up at an all-time high, you know, and now we're seeing the videos are being taken down, right, with no warning, right? No strikes, no nothing, man. You know, and some bullshit ass excuse on why the channel was taken down. So, hey, get it before it's too late, man. You know, but that's all I got, man. Lord wills, edifying. Lord wills, straight to the point. I want to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, by Shemi Yahushua, by Shem Kakadash. Till next time, I say shalom.